What is social work? It sounds like a simple question, but we found that it has many answers. As a class, we came up with 8 of them. The first chapter of this film looks at what we must do to become social workers in Wales. Social work is a regulated profession. The first thing to say is that the title social worker is protected. That means it is against the law to call yourself a social worker in the UK unless you are registered with one of the 4 care councils set up by the Care Act 2000. The regulatory body in Wales is currently called Social Care Wales.
The 3-year BA Honours Social Work degree at Glyndŵr University is recognised by Social Care Wales. We are currently students in the first year and are registered as student social workers. The degree comprises a mix of academic and practice learning. The academic learning involves demonstrating our understanding of the knowledge, skills and values underpinning social work practice. When we undertake the practice learning opportunities, we will be assessed against the National Occupational Standards for Social Work and the Code of Professional Practice for Social Care. Our conduct will be judged against the code as long as we are registered.
Looking ahead to the moment we graduate and can register as qualified social workers is exciting, but our learning and development won't end there. We'll be required to keep our knowledge, skills and values up to date. Laws, policies, research, theoretical and practice knowledge all develop, and society, services and circumstances change. We must keep up with these changes so we can offer the best services to individuals and communities. The social work qualification we are working towards is recognised internationally. Some countries' regulated bodies require us to undergo further training and learning to register with them, but the qualification does give opportunities to work abroad, though this could be hard to imagine right now.
To be a social worker is to be a professional person, always acting in a way that is open, transparent, reliable, knowledgeable, understanding and responsible. In the words of the code, social workers must not behave in a way, in work or outside work, which would call into question their suitability to work in the social care profession. So, what is social work? It's a regulated profession, but it's a lot more too. The next chapters of the film will explore those other 7 answers.
No place for Eddie in a broth or a stew. Green spuds aren't welcome, nor misshaped ones too. Roasts turn their back, and the bakes laughed at him. Your type are not welcome, you'll never fit in. So go back home, Eddie, back from where you came. We only want round spuds, who all look the same. The rules have been written by those we don't see, and you'll never change them. You'll never be free. So Eddie retreated, away from the rest, into the darkness. He thought it was best. Alone, scared and lonely, he wanted to die. What was the point of him being alive? Then, out of the darkness, a voice called his name. Eddie, it's okay, you're not to blame. The dark had enclosed him, but he reached out his hand. The voice grabbed it back. He was able to stand. There's plenty to live for. Let's work on a plan. Forget what you can't do, and let's see what you can. What do you dream of? She asked him to say. Some spuds of my own, and somewhere to stay. So she showed him the garden, and he felt so alive. For the first time forever, he thought he could thrive. He jumped in the flower bed and dug himself deep. Feeling hope for the first time, he went off to sleep. She sat by that flower bed through rain, sun and snow, and protected young Eddie. She encouraged him to grow. Roots sprouted quickly, and Eddie was strong. The family he dreamed of would soon be along. The new spuds were stunning in every way. Green ones and black ones, but all loved the same. They grew as a family without any hate, all happy together, in charge of their fate. So, she checks on the family from time to time, and now Eddie's thriving, she knows they'll be fine.
Safeguarding is putting in measures to protect the health, well-being and human rights of individuals so they can live freely from abuse, harm and neglect. The individuals that are more likely to be abused are children, young people and vulnerable adults. However, it is important to remember that anyone can suffer abuse. Individuals have the right to live safely, free from neglect and abuse, and by understanding some of the signs to look out for, we can all help protect this right. Safeguarding is noticing when Kai, a 6-year-old boy struggling in school, is always hungry and steals other children's lunches. Rita cannot afford to feed herself, but her grandson has increasingly nice cars. Priya, who is very unhappy, tells her friends that her parents have instructed her that she is getting married as they have found someone from a good family. Daniel, a young man with learning difficulties, has a new friend who started staying over, and now he has strangers coming and going at all hours. Safeguarding is taking notice and taking responsibility when we see something, such as the circumstances affecting Kai, Rita and Priya, that may indicate that something is not right. Safeguarding is not easy and presents individuals and professionals with many challenges, particularly when an individual may be harming themselves. By the time we qualify as social workers, we will need to evidence our skills against national occupational standards, including NOS 12, assess needs, risk and circumstances in partnership with those involved, and NOS 13, investigate harm or abuse. The Wales Safeguarding Procedures for Children and Adults at Risk of Abuse and Neglect detail the essential roles and responsibilities for practitioners to ensure that they safeguard children and adults at risk of abuse and neglect. The procedures are available online and as an app on your phone. Download them today.
Alone in the dark with the weight of the world, I can't do this alone, said the voice in their head. When in the dark a referral was made, a glimmer of light if they'd like to engage. A referral received, the social worker said, this person's best to tell me what's in their head. A meeting was arranged, goals ascertained. We have a variety of tools, the social worker explained.
The social worker asked what matters to you. If it's hard to find the words, we can talk it through. What is strong, not what is wrong. We all belong, there is no wrong. I'm here to help support your needs. In partnership, we will achieve. Our tools to success to empower your progress. Your interests are vital for our survival. Your strengths and desires are my priorities for you as an individual reflected in society.
Throughout our journey, we aspire and desire your outcomes and achievements with fulfillment and agreement. They stepped out of the dark, light could be seen, at the foot of a bridge to their hopes and dreams. I'm here with you, we'll do it together. We will empower you to help things get better. When things go wrong, as they sometimes will, when the road you're on is all uphill, when the mood is low and the goals are high, and you want to smile, but you can only sigh.
Look inside yourself and find your strengths. Don't give up, do not fall. Just lean on us and recall. The tools you hold in your box means you are able to build block by block. Our journey has been tough, but we stand together with a strength-based approach with you at the centre. The progress you have made has helped you see how to use your strength to overcome adversity. You have let me guide you and shine your light. The path ahead is light and bright. Always remember what is strong, not what is wrong.
Hope. What is hope? Is it being late for your bus but hoping it'll still be there if you run fast enough? Is it the feeling that when you get home there's just enough electric to see you through to bedtime, or that there is still home waiting for you at the end of the day? That maybe you can sleep with a roof over your head tonight. It might not be warm, and the others might not be so nice, but you know what to expect here, because you don't know what's waiting for you outside in the dark, stormy nights. Is hope the voice inside your head that tells you today might be the day for change, that keeps you going step by step? Does it make you believe that someday it will get better? And when those days don't show, do you lose your grasp on hope? Is it in fact not the friend you thought you had? Did hope betray you, your one and only loyal companion? But let's not forget that hope comes in all shapes and sizes, from finding a fiver on the street so you can in fact eat today. Is hope the phone number on the card you've had in your pocket all this time but never noticed it? But today's the day you glanced at it. It reads Family Services. You take the steps into the telephone box, and with one shaky finger you push the numbers into the icy metal box, and it starts to ring. Or seeing that smiling face coming to greet you, a person you've never met before, but treats you like you matter. A person who wants to meet you, who's interested in your world. You are no longer alone. A person who nourishes you with words like empowerment, relationship building, together, courage, honesty, trustworthy, happiness and fulfillment. Who says phrases you'd never heard before because you never knew they existed for you. It's not your fault. You have rights. You can. We can. Let's find out what you need. What are you happy to share? Let's stand and work together to make the changes. I will advocate for you and your rights. No matter what you might think, your journey is not over yet. It has only just begun. Hope never left. Hope was always with you. As the days got darker and the cracks got bigger and you lost hope, but hope did not lose you. It stayed with you in the form of social work and care, and it helped nourish you in the ways you can't always see because at some point you could no longer carry it for yourself. It led you on a journey to find people who care about you, who want to help, who show they truly care. And so, as you look at yourself now wondering where those big dark cracks have gone, remember and remind yourself, I can, I will, I am good enough. I am part of the changes that need to be made.
Social work is working with police, occupational therapists, nurses, social care workers and other professionals. By Danielle, Hayley, Katie, Leanne and Tim. A true story. Tim Wynne.
I've worked with a multidisciplinary team whilst I was spending a 2-month spell in Walton Neurological Centre, Liverpool. I was recovering from further spinal surgery and pneumonia. Not the happiest time of my life.
Sometimes during social work, to provide the best care and experience for an individual, family or carer, social workers will work alongside other professionals, such as health professionals, occupational therapists and social care workers. We often call this multidisciplinary work. We can imagine this as a jigsaw. The individual is the centre and the professionals are the interlocking pieces. When one piece of the puzzle is missing, it can cause confusion and make a solution more difficult to find.
My social worker has been tasked with setting up a care package that needed to put in place before the hospital would allow me to leave and return home to continue my recovery.
Multidisciplinary work can be an effective tool to enable social workers to work alongside other professionals to provide a well-rounded, thorough package of care to an individual, family or carer. The aim is to improve care outcomes and enable the individual to have all the pieces of the puzzle now and in the future.
The social worker had to liaise with my consultant, nurses, physiotherapists, occupational therapists, my local doctor and a local care company willing to provide carers visiting my home 3 times a day.
Professionals working as part of a multidisciplinary team will often need to share information. This will always be done on a need-to-know basis and you will be consulted about this.
The care plan meetings were held at the hospital, meaning I could attend, and I had full input, allowing me to agree or disagree with any ideas or suggestions.
A multidisciplinary team will endeavour to provide a person-centred approach, and your social worker will always advocate for this and pull all available resources together to achieve a trusting, focused, timely, holistic service.
A number of adaptations, such as handrails, shower stool and a profiling bed were put in place. Medication had to be prescribed. Physiotherapy at my local hospital was organised and a care package that would cover my needs was established.
There are key skills needed to ensure a multidisciplinary team performs effectively. These include excellent communication skills, understanding each other's roles and responsibilities, strong organisational skills and an identified coordinator, and at the forefront having a shared purpose to meet the individual's, family and carers' wishes using a strengths-based approach.
The social worker was the focal point who ensured all the necessary elements of my care package was put in place, allowing me to escape from the hospital. Happy days.
The focus of any multidisciplinary team is the individual. Without you, we have no starting, middle or end point. We cannot work without your guidance.
I was lucky enough to have a good relationship with a first-class social worker.
A Beaver's Tale. Once upon a time, in the land where the red dragon flies, the yellow daffodils dance, and the music is sung with pride, lived 2 gracious, caring beavers who helped and supported, making all the citizens feel warm and important. They met a young man at a crossing one day, who seemed troubled and puzzled, couldn't find his way. They instantly realized it was support he needed, to find a solution, to find what he needed. Communication was key, and a good listening ear, to find out from the young man just how they could care. He explained how much he wanted to get to the other side, but with no supporting networks, he felt lost, sad inside. Lucky for him, our heroes who could help him that day, the beavers said, "We're beavers, we'll soon have you on your way." They listened and assessed what was to be done, gave respectful suggestions. The young man's journey had begun. Plans were created, wood gnawed, and information shared. A bridge was started using tools he didn't know were there. Opportunities opened, and things began to shine through. With a positive vibe, his community connections grew. Some days still seemed hard, but with his newfound tools, the young man moved forward, gaining knowledge and skills. The crossing became easier, and his end goal would be achieved. The beaver's expert chewing had been positive indeed. And when the time was right and everyone agreed, the beavers departed for their lodges, and the young man was pleased. In a land called Wales, this story was told, where bridging the gaps never gets old. Tomorrow, our friends the beavers will start another tale, in a land of beauty and magic, the land that we call Wales.
My story. Your story. Our stories. Completing the circle.
Social work is working with anyone who needs support and listening to us.
This is the story of Outside In, our connection with social work and our participation in social work education at Wrexham Glyndŵr University. We have lived with social work and social care in our lives in a variety of ways.
We are here to highlight the importance of listening to and understanding the stories of individuals who use services. When I first got involved, individual stories of social work were rarely heard in the lecture halls and classrooms.
That's where we come in. Before we were involved, it felt as though we were always on the outside, looking in.
It was as if other people were speaking for us.
When we were invited into the university, it made all the difference. We had come from the outside in.
That's why we're called Outside In.
We started by being part of interview panels.
Then we're asked to share our stories in class. We tell the students the realities which are not always in the textbook. Our stories can be painful and hard, but by sharing them, we hope to make a difference.
Gradually, over the years, we have become integrated into all parts of the degree and in other degree programmes too. We are part of everything to do with the BA Honours Social Work degree at Wrexham Glyndŵr University.
Now we are enrolled as students ourselves, learning together with social work students. It feels like a complete community of friendship, solidarity, commitment and mutuality.
This community of learning has continued over Teams and Zoom during the pandemic.
But we really miss the chatting over coffee and chocolate muffins.
In 2020, we won a social care accolade for inspiring and educating the workforce of tomorrow.
And we also won an Above and Beyond award from Wrexham Glyndŵr University in 2020 for working in partnership.
We now have a better understanding of the role of the social worker, which helps us to work in partnership and builds mutual trust and respect.
Social work, it's my story, it's your story, it's our stories.
So, what is social work?
Social work is
completing
the circle.